plays right then. I noticed it takes a couple seconds even after the nod. Hey everybody, happy Saturday. Another week come and gone. Happy Father's Day to all those who are fathers. Happy Father's Day weekend.
Happy Father's Day.
And so today's meal was suggested by Janice Yamanaka. And it's full English breakfast. However, it's not going to be quite a full English breakfast. I don't have black pudding. I can't find it here, and it was going to be way too much trouble to try and make some just so I could have it today. So I'm just going to have to substitute our regular breakfast sausage. And I have a thing with mushrooms. I don't like them, at least not by themselves, just to eat mushrooms. Yeah. So that's too... Okay, now you may be like saying to yourself, well, what are you talking about? Last night you ate a chocolate chip cookie with sardines and pickles and stuff. Well, that was more of an attempt than it was actually eating. And for those of you that may have never heard of one, we've got a Santa Claus melon for dessert. And they're pretty tasty. So that's it. But how long is it going to take to fry up a couple of eggs? Mrs. Olgay isn't, like I said before, isn't that interested in having eggs. So I'm going to make her a couple of pieces of French toast. And I might make one for me or something anyway. Because it does say that full English comes with either toast or fried bread. So I technically, I guess, if we put some egg battered bread into a pan, it's fried, right? So who's in the room? Anybody?
John.
Hi, John. Welcome. How have you been? Been a little bit since we've seen you. Happy Saturday. We're a little tired today. It was a late night for us last night for the first time in... Miss Olga and I have been together like 33 years. 34 years. And we have never been, as a couple, to the drive-in. That has never happened. And so it's been at least that longer for me since I've been to a drive-in, and we've never been to one as a couple. But so we decided last night we were going to go do that, and it was fun. It was,
It was a good time.
It was a good time. Our car battery went dead. They've got their own little radio station, with a small radius there, so you can just turn it on your car radio. Some of the speakers they have do work, but I don't know to what percentage. But our battery went dead while we were, I don't know, we were maybe about halfway on the first movie.
Yeah, something like that.
And oh well, that's okay. We were still able to listen to it because of, just from it being outside, and a lot of people would sit in the back of their truck with the kids, so the music or the sound would be up loud enough. We could hear it okay.
Yep.
And the people that were right next to us offered a jump. They have, in fact, one of those little DeWalt power starter things. You can just hook it up to somebody's battery and start it up. except for it needed to be charged, so it wouldn't. It didn't charge it or start the car. And at the end of the first movie, they came over and asked if we needed a jump, and so we just did it the old-fashioned way with the jumper cables and got it started. And come to find out that these people that had been sitting next to us the whole time were friends of our son Richard. So it was kind of a coincidence, a small world.
Yeah, we knew one of them, but
Yeah, I didn't know the other two, but at any rate, we watched part of the second feature, maybe, I don't know, half an hour or so of it. And it was kind of boring. The Last Rodeo. If you're into that, I suppose it would be maybe an entertaining movie, but to me it was just not worth staying up any longer for.
yeah,
So,
we didn't get home till like 2 o'clock,
yeah.
1:30 in the morning. Something
Yeah,
like
yeah, it was 1:30 or so. So, yeah, if I'm going to watch a whole movie, the second feature, it's got to be something worth watching. It looks like at this theater they're doing it. They're going to do it. The first movie will be like a G or PG movie, maybe geared towards the kids a little more. And then the second movie, that's a little more adult content. So you have to watch the one movie to get to the adult movie, so to speak. Something above a PG rating.
So John says, I was in a bad car accident recently. Got out of the hospital. I had a broken leg and broken ribs.
Wow, I'm sorry, John. Jeez, well, I'm glad you've mended or are still on the mend, but sorry to hear that. But glad you're still around, and thanks for coming out and seeing us.
Lisa wants to know how your cookies are doing.
Who?
Lisa.
Lisa, my cookies. I tossed them. I tossed my cookies, thank you. Hello, wild man. That's funny. Yeah, that was wasn't a very pleasant experience. That was pretty bad food. But we got another one coming up, and so I guess I'll tell you what it is. It's certainly not going to be any secret, but this one starts with a donut, a Bismarck, a chocolate-covered, cream-filled Bismarck, cut in half, right? This way, not this way, opened up. And then we're going to make another sandwich, only this one is with the hot, spicy, pickled sausages. And what else did I... Oh, mustard mayo and freshly peeled lemon wedges. So you get lemon, peel it just like you would an orange. A couple of fresh wedges in there too. So we'll see how my delightful donut goes over.
Ralph, sure.
Hello, Ralph. Happy Sunday. Mr. Future Man.
Wild man said hi.
Wild man. Oh, yep. I don't think we'll ever see Nate participating in any of these, and I guess I don't blame him. The Foolish Four will do it.
John says, sounds yummy.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it's going to be really good. I don't know if it's going to be as bad or worse than what we just had. I don't know. It may be hard to top last night's because it was pretty disgusting. But You know, so was the pickled eggs. So was the what was the one before that? I can't remember what it was now. It was horrendous, whatever it was. Anyway, so it's been really nice here. It's starting to get pretty hot during the day, or hot for us. I mean, I know if you're in some states like Florida or Arizona, California, it's probably going to get hotter on you, but it's been nice here. 90, 95 on hot days.
Yep. Good morning from Sunday. Man of the future checking in. Something smells fishy.
Mr. Greg, yeah, something smells fishy.
And Lisa said 4, LOL.
4. 4? 4? For what? I guess I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Must have been when you were talking about the 4 of you guys.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. But, so, yep, full English. I went over that once before, but I don't think that it comes with their bangers or their sausage. I think it just comes with bacon and black pudding. I might be wrong with that, but either way, I'm not going to eat any. Pork and beans seems a little odd to me. The tomatoes, not quite as odd. I mean, I have eaten them like, just a can of tomatoes. So that doesn't bother me. It's just weird and maybe different for a breakfast, but I guess this isn't breakfast though, since we're eating this as our dinner. So
So John, it's 81 degrees here.
Currently?
Guess what?
Yep.
Eli said 107 there.
Hey Eli, how's it going? Happy Sunday. Saturday.
John said it's 109 there.
109.
Yeah.
It does. We've seen it get up over 100 here. It doesn't. It's only happened a couple of times since we've lived up here. We've been up here 13 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. About the hottest it gets is in the mid 90s, but there's been, a few days. I think it was 2 summers ago. We had 103.
Yeah.
Up here. That was hot.
Yeah.
That was hot. It was, I don't know, like 110 down in Delta, which is about 40 miles away, a little bit lower in altitude.
Lisa said yes, 4 guys.
4 guys. Okay. Yes, the foolish 4. I did get work on my last little project done over this last week. I've got maybe another couple of hours or so to finish it up, and all my spring projects will be done, and I've got a week before summer starts. So I'm sitting on the right path. Yep, I'm right there to be done with my need to do spring projects.
Eli says during peak summer I go through almost a gallon of water a day.
Oh, I bet. I'll go through more than that here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bet you drink quite a bit. You have to if you're going to be out in it. Ain't no question of that.
No.
It's a lot different heat though than like when I went to basic training. And by the way, if any of you happen to be former Army, happy birthday to the Army. But I did my training in Augusta, Georgia in I think it was the first or second week of August is when it started. And wow, it's so much different than the heat here. Here you fry, there you boil. Talk about drinking lots of water. We got plenty of time just to blab, 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 because it's not going to take very long for me to cook a little breakfast.
And it sure ain't gonna take very long for dessert either.
No. Santa Claus melon. By yay or nay, how many people have tried a Santa Claus melon? And that is its name. I could pull the sticker off and show you, but this is a Santa Claus melon. How many people have tried one or even heard of one? There was a guy a few years ago, I think 5 years ago or so. I don't know where he went, maybe to Utah or maybe the southwestern part of Colorado, but he got a whole bunch of different types of melon and had them down in this local town down here. And we tried, I don't know, 2 or 3 different ones.
Yeah.
And we didn't find one we didn't like. They were all good. So. Yep. And actually, I did use salt on, I think, one of them. Now, cantaloupe is one that I'll put salt on.
Yep. A little bit on honeydew once in a while.
Ew. That's you.
Ralph says, shouldn't it be red?
Shouldn't it be red? The Santa Claus melon?
Red, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall. I don't think it is red. I think it's more of kind of a yellowish flesh. Kind of tastes, if I remember right, a little bit like a cross between a honeydew melon and a cantaloupe.
Eli says, I'm about to make some crispy beef with some sweet soy and sesame and a side of white rice.
That sounds delicious. I love food like that. Ugh. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I drew something from Food TV. I don't remember for sure who it was. Okay. And it was some kind of obscure dish.
New food order.
New food order, right. And what was it?
Cascia Bellini.
Cascia Bellini. And it's like, well, it took me a while to even just to find what the darn thing was, and it's like, no, it's interesting, and I might try it sometime, but it just didn't look like anything I wanted to make here, so I just decided that next week I'm gonna make some taco burgers my way. And you're probably going to want to try it because they're delicious. Yeah, I suppose you could even do regular tacos if you wanted. Instead of using bread, still use tortillas. But, oh boy, it's been a whole, 20 minutes? Well, we still got plenty of time to yappity yap. Cherries are turning red in the trees around us.
Yeah.
And our tree right along the side of our house here, it's got a lot of cherries this year.
Yep.
It's full, yep.
And it's a big tree, so it's hard to get to the top.
It is, yep. Part of it hangs over the garage roof, so I can get up there okay and reach some upper branches. And I'll tell you what, the birds sure like them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's evidence of that because of the house that's next to us. There's probably, I'm going to guess, 10 little baby cherry trees growing through the yard from the birds dropping the cherry seeds. Or imagine some just falling to the ground, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll make some cherry ice cream.
That'd be good.
Yeah, but maybe I'll make some blueberry ice cream. Maybe I'll do a red, white, and blue ice cream for the 4th. Wouldn't that be yummy? Yep. I'm just going to sit here for a little while longer yet because there's... yeah, this is... I like ones that are kind of like this once in a while where there's just not a whole lot that I have to do and pay attention to. A few less oh no possibilities.
Eli said the key to a good sandwich is cookies and extra sardines.
Yeah, to the key to a good and gross. When I took that first bite, it was, I got the whipped cream and the cookie immediately, and I got that nice soft cookie chew. And then the next flavor was the oil, that fishy oil, and then the fish, and then I got a good little pop of that Dave's spicy pickle. That was, yep, that was the end of that wagon. I'm surprised that Sean ate the whole thing. I mean, just that quick. He was done with it. There's no way I couldn't. There's absolutely no way. And I've said it before. I'm going to keep saying it. When we do these little challenges, there is no winner. We all lose.
Drake told Eli, sounds like something only Grandma would love.
Yeah. Well, Grandma was confused. Grandma was confused. Yeah, she really thought that Grandpa had made his ate sardines with as a sandwich with cookies, but after she tried it, she was wondering if maybe Grandpa just didn't eat the other stuff first and then have the cookies and whipped cream. But that was unusual. I don't look forward to repeating any of these challenges. So. No, there's no reason to revisit. Once around is good.
So nobody has said whether they've had or seen that kind of mountain.
So, Seneca, what's wrong with you folks? Come on. Let's be interactive. You know, I try to give you guys good arm participation.
The only thing that was said about it was Ralph asked if it shouldn't it be red.
Boy. You folks are just mean. Mean and cruel. I forgot my basket.
Well,
So I'm going to go grab it, and I'll be right back.
Greg says, lucky you had that plastic bag handy. Give me a Give me reckless eating vibes. Greg says he's never heard of Santa Mellon before, other than in
See if I can pull this label off. It's a Majesty company, if you want to look it up, but you'll tell me if I can get that. Hang on a second. That way I can, shine a little light on it when it gets into the shadow up here. Let me know.
it's too much light.
Better that way?
Yeah, but it's not, you can't read it. It's not clear.
Try it this way.
Still can't read it. No, too blurry for me, I don't know.
Well, it is a Majesty melon. And it's Santa Claus. It's not like a funny phonetic spelling. It's spelled Santa Claus. So Santa Claus melon. Let's get this.
Focus.
What's that?
Rick said focus.
Focus, folks. Focus. All right. So in 2 weeks, which will be sometime in I think in July. No, 28th. I think it'll be the 28th. Yes. So. All right. So let me get this turned around.
Knocking stuff off.
I hope not. Some of that stuff's breakable. All right. So for the 28th. What did we win? Who's tonight's winners, Jay? Are we ready? This is one from Bates Motel. Haven't seen them on for a little bit. Baked cavatini and cheese. Here, I'll let you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oops, I dropped one. Miss Old Guy, would you do me a favor? Sausage roll from Mr. Greg. Would you rewrite that on a bigger paper, please?
Sausage roll?
Yeah. Didn't we do sausage roll for Greg? It seems like we did. Maybe not.
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. It's in the basket, so. It's going to get drawn again at some point. All right. Thank you.
Welcome, Jay.
All right, so here's the little piece. This is, and there's a larger one. Okay. Get rid of that little one. Doo-doo.
Ralph says, I'm wondering why it's called a Santa melon. It's not red, but I guess it's round.
I don't know why it's called a Santa Claus melon either.
Well, have to search it.
I'll have to. Yes, we'd have to search it.
Greg says, "Yay, birthday string." Is it your birthday on that weekend, Greg? Scott. Hey Tom, this is old guy in chat. Hope you're all doing well. I'm at work, but on lunch having a hot pastrami sandwich.
Yum! And hey, Scott, happy Saturday. I had, not Mrs. Old Guy, but I had a hot pastrami not too long ago, about a week ago or so. So, one of my favorites. I love a good hot pastrami sandwich. In this case, it was a pastrami Reuben. So, I just told him no sauerkraut. Put lettuce and tomato, onion on it. Changed it from a Reuben to a hot pastrami just like that.
Greg says his birthday's on the 10th, actually, but close enough.
Okay, cool.
That's closer to my birthday.
Yep. Yep, Mrs. Old Guy is on the 30th. Coming up here a little over a week.
Yeah.
And we will have a 4th of July weekend stream on Saturday. As far as I know, anyway. I don't have plans to do anything else, so. But things might change between now and then. We'll see.
When is that?
When is that? That would be the 5th of July.
Scott says, LOL, that's exactly how my pastrami was made.
Awesome. Yep, grilled rye bread, marble rye. Sourdough's good too, but marble rye is the way to do it, or dark rye. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about making myself a pastrami. I try to make them a couple times a year. The only thing is, it's really kind of hard for me because Mrs. Old Guy doesn't like pastrami. So I have a hard time because when I make it, I don't have, I guess, anybody to help me eat it.
Yeah.
So.
Char said a couple minutes ago, and I just seen it, but the Foolish Four is not a strong enough name for the challengers.
Oh, okay. The Foolish Four isn't good enough?
No, it's not a good enough name for the challengers.
Well, Char, if you have any suggestions as to a better name than the Foolish Four, please, let me know. There's, you're certainly not going to hurt my feelings. And I got to get to my regular question, I guess. I'm having full English breakfast, as close as I can anyway, and Mrs. Old Guy's having French toast. What are you guys doing for your next meal? Mr. Greg, Ralph, they're in future lands. The rest of you folks here, Eli, John, Scott, Lisa, Wildman, what you guys doing for your food?
Drake says, "Woo, good lady and good lady from Colorado and myself are crabsters."
Crabsters. What are they having?
She says also we're having shrimp and 4-bean salad for dinner and a watermelon for dessert.
Cool. I had some shrimp a little earlier.
Yep.
Just some, little frozen jabbies. I didn't eat them frozen. Ooh, maybe that would be a way to do it. That'd be gross to eat a frozen pizza. That's not a bad idea. That could be a good challenge. Everybody could pick themselves up just one of those real cheap little square Totino's pizzas. See how much of it you could eat frozen.
Greg says I'm having pretty much the same: lamb sausage, baked beans, mushrooms, steaky maple bacon, and some sunny side up eggs.
Right on. Now, see, I can eat mushrooms and like some onions as a topping on some steak.
Oh, and fried tomato, he says.
Ah, okay. That sounds good. Like I say, I'll eat the mushrooms if they're on in something like that. I would do, but I don't like them on pizza unless they're part of the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's some chopped up in the sauce, that's okay. But just like as a topping, nah, thanks. You can pick them off. Ew.
Lisa said Nate's birthday is next month on the 11th.
Oh, cool.
The day after Greg's.
Ah, wow.
Ralph says my next meal will be Mom's homemade muesli.
Okay, muesli.
I'm watching your stream from bed because I'm cold and tired, and we'll have breakfast afterwards.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a comfortable place, at least you would assume. That,
Yeah.
Comfy and toasty warm in your bed. Yep. That's okay.
Greg says first time of trying lamb sausage.
Lamb sausage. Yeah, I've never tried it. The only lamb I've ever had is, leg of lamb. But I didn't eat the whole leg. It was just part of it. Makes you wonder how some of the expressions happen, like he's on the lamb. It doesn't sound right. Just saying. Maybe I should stop just saying. When are you actually going to cook something, Tom? I don't know. When I get around to it, I guess.
Oh, Greg says, and also sneaky piece of toasted homemade banana bread.
Oh, yeah. Yummy.
That looked good.
Banana, yeah. It looked like a yummy banana bread to me. And something else, Greg, if you still have some left, cut you a slice and make it like a French toast. Add a little bit of vanilla and sugar to your eggs and milk, and make your banana bread a French toast. Yum.
Yep.
Yep. Very yummy. I've done it before.
John says that he's making some homemade chicken pot.
Homemade chicken pot pie, huh?
And Greg says Australia was built off the sheep's back.
Off the sheep's back, huh? Well, you sure aren't sheepish about telling me.
Greg says, oh my, that sounds epic. Wow, okay, done. So he's gonna try your French toast with
Yeah,
this.
it's delicious. You don't have to put the cinnamon in if you don't want, but I do suggest a little bit of vanilla. And yeah, you don't want to put a whole lot though, because you still want to get that banana flavor, right? I've done that to pound cake as well. It didn't work very well with the store-bought pound cake, but it worked all right with homemade. I don't know why, maybe because of the density or something, but it just seemed to work better with the homemade pound cake. We've also done it with bread pudding as well. Made some French toast out of sliced bread pudding. That was pretty good too.
Okay.
That's right. There's just a bunch of different ways to use bread of various sorts. I've never tried to make any kind of French toast or anything similar using like a dark rye or something like that. You know, dark rye bread. I don't know if that would make a better savory French toast type thing. It's not. See, it's a loose use of the term, just like Mrs. Old Guy saw this recipe the other day for a frozen coconut souffle.
Yes.
A frozen coconut souffle. Well, it's not a souffle. They're just calling it one. So, I guess if you can you can call it whatever you want, I guess. So, I can use a slice of bread pudding and call it a French toast. Especially because my name is Pierre. I am Pierre. I am savoir-faire in my underwear. Sorry, folks, that was wrong, wasn't it? I should never say that I'm savoir-faire in my underwear. I'm sorry I said that. You'll never hear me say, I was going to say it again, but I'm not going to. You know, geez, I guess I'll cook some bacon or something.
Greg says, haha, sounds like someone on the radio last week complaining he couldn't find frozen mashed potatoes in the supermarkets lately. Wow, really?
Complaining, I can't find any frozen mashed potatoes.
And Greg says, Pierre?
Oh, Pierre somewhere. All right, let me just cut this in half. Oh, let go. Bacon. This is that weird miscut bacon. It's like the island of misfit toys. Who wants to play with a Charlie in the box?
Greg said someone called him and kindly told him how to make mashed potatoes. That's funny.
Mashed potatoes are pretty simple.
Yeah.
I mean, you need water and potatoes. Wow. These are really weird cut.
They look thick.
Some of them are kind of thick, yeah. It's okay. It's just one of the things that you deal with when you're buying the cheap stuff. I don't care if it's not cut great. It tastes all right, so. Get that pork fat off my hands. All right, here it comes, folks. This is what's going to wear me out. The working and the thinking. So we saw How to Train Your Dragon last night. And I gotta be perfectly honest with you, it was better than I thought it would be. So it wasn't bad for
No, it was pretty good.
yeah, for a Disney, kids movie kind of thing. It was okay. Guess I'm gonna grab. Is there a fork in here?
Greg says, "You got this, my guy."
Say what?
Greg says, "You got this, my guy."
I got this. What did I got? This. Oh, no wonder.
Doing the working and the thinking.
Doing the working and the thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, that piece is really cut weird. The other day, I had some of this in it's a different package. And I thought, let's, gotta use it up. And instead of cooking it in the pan, I put it on a plate and threw it in the microwave. And I microwaved it until I knew that the meat was going to be crispy. Well, it was like eating bacon rocks. It's like, holy mackerel. When bacon is cut, as thick as some of these are, trying to cook it crisp. You're walking on dangerous territory right there.
So Ralph says, "Is it better than the fully animated version?"
I don't know, Ralph, because I've never seen the fully animated version. I'm not real big on those kinds of movies, so this is the only one I've ever watched. I know there's other ones, I believe, How to Train Your Dragon, but
Greg
I
says,
think
"How to Train Your Dragon" is pretty cool. I saw the presentation on ice. I thought that was going to be bad, but surprisingly good. Got dragged along to it, of course. It's a live performance.
okay. Only been to one ice show like that. Forget what it was. It was a really long time ago.
Yeah, it was like Disney on Ice or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Disney on Ice, but what Disney it was, I don't know if I remember. It's just, a celebration of all their stuff, or just what. But
So Char says, "The crazy forecast or the ridiculous regurgitators."
ridiculous regurgitators. Well, I'll run that by the guys and see what they think. Ridiculous regurgitators. I gotta tell you, Shar, that almost sounds like a new kind of band. A rock band, the regurgitators.
Great, there's nothing to beat the good old poltergeist.
Poltergeist?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Ralph says, "Was How to Train Your Dragon in the drive-in movie you guys were going to?"
Yeah, no, we did last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a yes. It was the movie that that we saw, or one of them. The other movie we only stayed for part of it because, I don't know, the script was weak and I'm just not into rodeos. I just didn't find it exciting at all. So
Jessica says, "Hi, please don't bite. I'm finally back again from a long mental break. I really hope you remember me, and I'm not going to hold it against you if you don't. If you don't have my Diet Coke."
I have got your Diet Coke, and I've got something very special I've been saving for you. So go ahead and get your Diet Coke and your frozen glass out of the freezer. And here in a minute, I'm going to give you your big surprise, and I definitely had you in mind. So.
Greg says his boss always goes on about the slug fuzzers.
Goes on about the what?
Slug fuzzers. Slug fuzzers.
Slug fuzzers. Okay. That sounds like something you need a doctor for, or you get arrested because you did it. One or the other.
Scott says, "I can't believe Poltergeist was rated PG. I saw that when I was 7.
Yeah, Poltergeist was a good movie. Go into the light, Carol. Yeah, but Poltergeist and Poultrygeist. Wow, are they ever different? Well, that's some thick bacon. They're going to be chewy. Chewy.
Jessica says, "Yeah, the loss of my cat has really taken a hard hit."
I'm sorry.
Sorry to hear you lost your cat.
I'm sorry, really. I know what it was like when I lost my dog 6 years ago. I still miss him like crazy. So.
She says, "So how have you two been? How have you been? And how are the fur babies? I hope they're doing well."
They are doing okay. They've been getting their daily walk. This little guy and I are doing all right.
Yeah. The dogs like to chase the lizards when they go on their walk.
Yeah, there's little lizards about between 2 and like 4 inches long. And the dogs, once they started seeing them, now that becomes their main focal point when we take them for a walk. They're on the way there and on the way back. They're on the hunt for, we've been calling them racers because
they'll never catch one.
No, they're much too quick. And I will say, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait for a minute here. I'm about done with this, and then I'll give Jessica her surprise. All right. So I'm glad you're back, because this is, this has been a couple of, a few weeks, kind of in the making, kind of. Alright. Man, that was this one now. Yep, you almost gotta burn it for it to be crisp at all. That's okay. Man, this is so hard. You guys don't have any idea. what it's like to stand here and cook bacon and talk to you at the same time. It's a skill that is learned as you go. I'm telling you that right now.
Jessica says the hard thing about being parents to fur babies is they have to go before bus for babies do. So I'm not sure what she meant there. Scott said, speaking of catching something, I just had a call of a baby deer trapped in a fence. Freed the little guy and got him over the fence and back to his mom. Still haven't saved a cat out of a tree.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Do you guys still bother to save a cat out of a tree? I've seen cats jump off of a telephone pole and just choo.
Greg told Scott, I hold no responsibility when you watch it. It's all Tom's fault. He directed me to watch Poultrygeist. My life has never been the same since.
And who was that?
Greg told Scott that. Because Scott said he's heard of it, but he hasn't seen it.
Yeah, well, I mean, watch it at your own risk, I guess, because there's an awful lot about it to laugh at, but there's also a lot of it to just never be the same again. You should never see what you see in that movie. All right, Jessica.
He says, anyways, let's be on a happier note. Today for dinner I'm having potatoes, green beans, and steak with tartar sauce.
Tartar sauce. And who is this?
Jessica.
Jessica. Well, that sounds good. I'm all about steak, you bet. And I found, Jessica, you've had me thinking about it, and I finally came up, I think, with a mating call that is actually going to work. And so here we go.
The dogs are sleeping. So
I don't care.
They won't be for long.
What do you think? Should I do it again? If that doesn't say mating call, nothing does. Thank you. I will fashion this into like a horn of some sort.
Scott says we have 2 cats stuck in a tree last year. LOL, we still do it.
Still do it, huh? Stuck in a tree. They're not stuck. Cats don't get stuck in trees. They could get down anytime they wanted.
Greg says, okay, now I can't unsee this either.
Yep. Yep, that's a mating call that you only wish you could forget. Oh boy. All right. I'll throw this back on heat. So I got a couple of sausages to cook up. Last 2 Saturdays have been a breakfast. Pretty uncommon. All right. Turn the heat back on. So, Jessica, out of, 1 to 10, what do you rate that new mating call?
She just popped in and said, I like the mating call, but I like it when it comes from your own voice, vocal voice. But that was a great meaning.
Well,
Good job.
So maybe I'll use that in tandem. I'll work on it. Maybe I'll do a "Hey, lady." Don't know if that'll make any difference, or I put on a Viking helmet.
Jessica says, but is that a mating call from a duck or a goose?
Neither. That's my mating call. Hello? Did I not just say my mating call? It's not from a goose or a duck. It's, it comes from here.
Scott said one of the firefighters saved a cat from the tree, got peed on by the cat. It took a lot of washes to get the smell out of his ears.
Yeah, lucky that's all it was. I've seen cats tear people up. A little house cat can sure jack a dude up. If it's pissed, look out.
Jessica says, have you ever heard possums? You could definitely hear possums on YouTube when they're mating. You should definitely hear it.
Okay, I'll listen to it. Yeah. But see, if I do a possum mating call, that won't work for me because the ladies will think I'm just playing possum.
Jessica says the new mating call is a 10 out of 10, but I can't beat the ones that you've been doing.
Oh, well, I think I can augment. I will augment. Just not in front of you. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Where did I put my... sausage? Instead of black pudding. Alright. Yeah. Wasn't going to go to the hassle of looking for blood sausage or buying the stuff to try and make it for, a couple pieces. It's not, I like it, but it's just not worth messing with. And I mean, for me to go out, there's pig farmers here. I could buy the blood, but Mrs. Old Guy wouldn't be particularly pleased if I brought that here, so.
Greg says, all this mating call stuff reminded me of a video my Asian mate showed me at work. There were 2 ducks on this farm, I guess, mating. They had finished their activity as the male duck was.
Well, I don't know. Why a duck?
He says, and as the male duck was waddling off, his member was still hanging out, and a bunch of chickens were after him, thinking it was a worm going to peck at the poor guy's window.
Well, I guess that's why you shouldn't be doing things like that in front of mixed company. Things are just bound to turn out bad. I'll put a little bit of this back in there. Sausage. A little lean. two
Yep.
French toasts. All right, then. All right, then. I guess I'll mix that stuff together. That's going to take a whole 10 seconds. All right. Alright, my fancy flat bottom bowl. Dog dish.
Just want to know what is a sentinel.
It is this. This is a Santa melon. It actually is a Santa Claus melon. If you look up, if you Google Majesty, I don't know, produce or fruit, you can probably look it up, Santa Claus melon, or just look it up on Google. I'm sure you'll find it. A little bit of cinnamon in there. A little bit of Mellon. And I got some heavy cream here. Pour that in. Here's that working and thinking thing again.
And you were right about what it looked like, just so you know.
Say what?
You were right the way the way it looked.
Yep. Okay. I thought so. Yep. Well, we've had it before, so I just. Now, if somebody wanted to make some melon candy or melon soda and use something like a Santa Claus melon or honeydew or something like that, that'd be great. But just plain watermelon, if it's fresh, I might drink some watermelon juice. But I don't like candy and that junk.
Jessica says, and now we're going to have a scary story time during the dessert time.
Oh no.
Jessica says your homework this week is to look up Queso, the YouTuber who does gaming, and watch his gaming called Schedule 1. It's a drug deal gaming with bonus casinos.
Okay, well, I mean, none of that sounds like anything I'd be interested in, but I will if you want.
Greg told her that he has seen that and it's quite popular.
Huh, never heard of it.
Scott says, well, I gotta head back to work. Have a great weekend, all.
Hey, Scott, thanks for dropping in. I appreciate it. I do. All right. Now, you might think I've got bowls here for Mrs. Old Guy, but they're both for me. I'm not going to just dump these beans on my plate. So, there's a bowl of pork and beans. Couldn't find a small can of whole tomatoes, so I just got some crushed, which will work. Nothing says they gotta be whole. irradiate them here in a minute. Try to see if this thing's done. All right. Sausages. So, I guess I'm going to get your French toast rolling here.
Okay.
Oh, that's what it was. There's, when we were getting ready to set up, I was like, I'm missing something. That is syrup. I'm sure you're going to want some.
Yep. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And there's some butter.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Turn this back on.
Greg says that he has found that the canned cherry tomatoes are really nice.
Canned cherry tomatoes?
Yep.
That's getting a bit extreme.
I don't think I've ever seen canned cherry tomatoes.
Neither have I. But just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it don't exist. Just like Santa Claus and his melons.
Greg says tomatoes in Australia are up to 16 kilograms due to the floods we had.
Say that again? The tomatoes are what?
Up to 16 kg due to the flooding we had.
I'm not sure if I completely understand. If he's trying to tell me that they got really big. I mean, a 16 kilogram tomato, how big is that? Kilogram is like 2.2 pounds.
Yeah, but he has a dollar sign there too.
Well, I don't know.
$16 a kilogram?
16, oh, I see. That's kind of expensive. I see now. I was like,
Yeah.
well, what are you talking about? Now it kind of makes sense. Get a little bit of this butter for my eggs. This will be dinner at some point. Come on.
So Greg said to convert to US dollars, it's over $10 US dollars a kilo.
$10 a kilo? Wow, that is expensive. $10 for 2 pounds? It's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Get you some seeds and try and grow some in a little box. They got these little miniature garden things.
Yeah.
Maybe you can grow some. I don't know.
Jessica says, random fun facts, it's better to be licked by a cat than a dog. Less slobber can cats' tongues. When they kiss you, they feel good. When you got itches on your arm, just a fun fact I thought you should hear.
Okay. Well, I'll be dogged.
Great, so that would be 2 pounds of tomato for $10.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a bit steep.
He says cheaper to buy steak.
That's terrible.
And he says, yes, I'm growing some garlic, celery, chilies, all from the cut-offs when I cook.
Awesome. All right. Mm-hmm. Oops. Jeez. All right, Mrs. Old Guy. Here's your plate.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So Ralph asked Greg, do you guys have black nightshade over there? It has little berries that taste a bit like tomatoes, but with an intense sweetness. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either. Here. All right. Here. Put the toast down. 1 eggy waggy. 2 eggy waggy. Alright, French toast. So far, so good. Butter.
Greg says their eggs are up to the six US per dozen at the moment.
Dang.
Ours was really high too a while back.
Yep.
They're coming down now.
Yeah, they're starting to come down. But, yeah, they got up to like almost $10 at our local store. So that's when I started getting them from local people. It's a lot better anyway. All right. Get some butter on my toast. Some butter. Okay. Beautiful.
Greg says if you're smart, you can get them for $2.50 a US dozen. Yes, like you just said.
Yep. All right. beans, tomato, couple of eggs. Oh. Come on.
What is that?
French toast.
There's not much syrup in this jar. I don't know if there's another jar in there.
There is. There's another.
Okay.
And I'm only having one French toast, so
Okay.
if you need to use it, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Okay. Come on.
Rick says, I can smell the breakfast from here. Are those cast iron pans? I need to get me some of those.
Yep, they sure are.
I use them a lot.
Yeah. I mostly use these. I do have some non-stick, but they suck. They suck. Food does not. It's like they're designed for food to stick.
Ralph says, I love eating black nightshade berries growing along the walkways, etc., but some people pull them out thinking that they're the same plant as deadly nightshade.
Well, that's not good. There's a few wild berries that grow in our area.
Yeah.
Raspberries, and there's wild strawberries, but they're not easy to find, and most of the time when you find some, the animals have already got to it. So all right. That's good to go. Toast. 3 ways, 2 ways. And where did I put my... Here. Let's get this cooled down.
Says, oh wow, damn deadly nightshades. Let's not talk about death cap mushrooms here in the down under.
Yeah, there's plenty of mushroom species that grow here too, but I don't know enough about them to even begin to mess with them at all. I see them and I leave them alone. Okay, my fork.
Greg says massive court cases going on here with a lady made beef Wellington with death cap mushrooms and killed half of her family.
Oh, jeez. That's too bad.
And Ralph told him we've been following that on the news.
All right. So you want to see something crazy, right? A little sugar on top of these tomatoes. All right. Full English, as close as I could get. Beans with toast. Here, that's a thing.
Scott said, thanks everyone. I'm glad I was able to stop in. I love you guys. I always love hanging with you all on Saturday.
Well, thank you, Scott. And we appreciate you, too. And especially, if you're taking time out of your day to hang out, just like the rest of you. I definitely appreciate it. I hope you don't ever think that I take you for granted, because I sure don't. It's one thing about this kind of thicker cut bacon. It sure does add a little more chew to your piece rather than just a quick crunch and it's gone. All right. More beans.
Greg says that bacon is crispy.
Mm-hmm. In parts, in other parts, it's chewy. It's okay with beans, but yeah, it's breakfast. It's not bad. I mean, I don't, having beans is just, they taste fine and everything. It's just a little odd to have it with eggs.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I could see that.
mm-hmm. Put some on the bread. Mm-hmm. I hear that's how they do it. Not too bad. Another bite of bacon. Wow. Wow, that was really chewy. All right. Some tomatoes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Eggs.
Greg says, I love watching how other people eat. We all have our unique ways of doing so.
Yep. When I'm around other people, I'll guard my food like this. Just out of habit. I don't know why.
New Image Landscaping here.
Oh, hey, new image.
Says, hello, we're inside today.
Yes, we are. Just because I didn't think that all these little components to a full English is a little more than I wanted to deal with outside. So, that's good. I wasn't able to do black pudding. Can't find it here, but I got regular sausage. Buttered bread. I got a French toast to cover any kind of fried bread. Beans, tomatoes. I didn't include any mushrooms. I'm not a fan. But next week is back outside.
So, Ralph asked Greg to lick the plate or not lick the plate. I do if I'm not in public. And Greg says, I'm a licker, but I stop at windows.
You filthy window licker. Going to be under arrest for public window licking. I mean, do you think that would be an arrestable offense, Greg? Let's say you went down to just any store that has a large window in the front. Do you think you would be charged with a crime if you went up there and just started licking the window? I'm curious about that. That might be something cool for you to start. Maybe you can get a national trend.
Greg says it depends on your current mental state.
Well, if you're shown to be, like not under the influence of anything, or, loose in the head, that you just like to lick windows. My pappy was a window licker. His pappy was a window licker too, only in them days it was stained glass. It stained from his licking it.
Greg says, or it's Yoko Ono interpretive art and dance.
Yeah. Yoko was very unique. I'll say that about her.
Greg says if it's stained glass, I'm pretty sure how it has to be cleaned.
Gotta lick it.
And Ralph says just have to mind when you're licking plates that you don't get it in your beer. You guys also lick your plates when there's no one else around.
Heck yeah. I think I licked my plate like 2 nights ago. And I did get some on my chin here, yeah.
Hello from Steve.
Well, hello, Steve. Happy Saturday. Good to see you. I'm just finishing up on some English breakfast, full English, close to it. Mrs. Old Guy is having French toast. I'm going to have one as well. Out. Huh. What you laughing at over there?
I had a mouthful of food.
Oh.
Greg told Steve, "Good morning from Sunday, my mate. Welcome to the licking show." And Steve says, "How did it go?"
How did what go? I can tell you last night went as expected. That was gross. Now that is some chewy bacon. In a way, it's not super horrible either, just because it takes you longer to chew it. So that's just that much more longer you get to enjoy the flavor. At least that's the story I'm sticking to. Tomatoes. Starting to get full. Couple more bites of these. Not too bad. All right.
So it also is nice to know other people also do it then. Makes me feel more normal. More normal.
Oh yeah. I'll lick my plate if it's if it was a really scrumptious dinner. I will lick my bowl or plate if it was a really good dessert. I'm not afraid.
So Steve says the prep and dinner, and that's continuing on to how did it go?
It went good. Dinner was breakfast, so went pretty quickly. We got some of this Santa Claus melon.
Great guess, Steve. Did you see the 4 fools, including Grandma, do the challenge yesterday? That is what Tom is referring to.
Yep. And what was Char's suggestion instead of the foolish 4?
Let's see here. The crazy forecast or the ridiculous regurgitators.
Ridiculous regurgitators. It's got a nice ring to it.
Steve says I did. That was one disgusting challenge. Nobody beats Wolf.
Well, yeah. Sean.
Boy, he packs it away quick. It seems like all these challenges, he's downing them right away.
Well. All depends on what you can stomach, you know.
He was almost getting sick after that, though.
Almost, yeah. It didn't look like he felt very well.
Greg says gastronomic news.
A little bit more of my bacon. Then I'll get it cut into that melon.
Greg says the gastronomic fools.
Well, you can call us whatever you want, but just don't call us late for dinner. You're late for dinner. Yeah. Told you not to call me that. All right. Get this out of the way. Just cut this melon and kind of get it cleaned out a little bit.
Greg says the Tom Cruise fools.
Okay, do you see that? It's not red. Why they call it Santa Claus, I truly don't know.
Greg says never late for dinner, fools.
Well, we'll see about the regurgitators.
Greg says, oh, this is a Chinese melon.
I don't know. Is it? There you go, Miss Little Guy.
Thank you.
Do you guys see that? Hold that so they can see it just real quick. It's just, it looks like a honeydew. Like I said, the flavor is like a cross between a honeydew melon and a cantaloupe. Yummy. It's ripe, just exactly right.
Greg said honeydew melon.
It's a lot like one. It's sweet like one, but it also kind of has a cantaloupe sort of flavor to it.
It's good.
Mm-hmm. Santa Claus.
Greg says, wow, okay, awesome.
Yum. Kind of like biting into an apple. It's a little bit crisp. Wow. Yummy. That was pretty decent. Ooh. Yep. That wasn't too bad at all. That's a yummy melon. So if you guys ever see one of these melons in your local grocer, pick one up if you haven't tried one. They're good. They can be a little pricey for what they are. I think this one was like a little over $6.
Greg wants to know, do you think you could grow them from seed?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure you could. You just have to have the room to do it. I'm sure you could. Guess you'd have to check and see if it's something that they would allow you to grow there. I know that there's some things that you can't like plant here from other places. What those are, I don't know. Things.
Steve wants to know, any plans tomorrow?
Any plans for tomorrow? Yeah. I'm gonna work in the yard for a little bit, but I think in the evening we're gonna take the hour-and-a-half drive down to Grand Junction and probably go to Texas Roadhouse for a steak.
Is it Texas Roadhouse? Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm. They got pretty good food.
Stoner Kitchen says, sorry, I've been away from the computer, getting ready for Father's Day getaway tomorrow.
Oh, nice. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-mm. Nope. Tomorrow I'm going to try and at least get the top and the inside of this new little roof extension I did. It's a part that I didn't do last year, but after the amount of snow that we had and the fact that the sidewalk I put there was really not good, I just redid it and covered it so that this winter it'll be just that much more moisture and whatnot that goes out into the yard and doesn't end up ultimately melting down or around the foundation or make it difficult to get around in the winter. You know, it's nice to be able to use the sidewalk once in a while. So I'll get that finished, and that's the end of my spring stuff. Just in time for summer to start. And it's for the first time in like 4 or 5 years, I can use my carport.
Yes.
Get out of the sun during the day. It's always been full of, construction stuff, whether that's where it's actually doing work or putting materials or whatever. Have to leave the car out in the hot sun all day.
Steve said to make sure you get the blooming onion appetizer out there.
Those are yummy. I don't know that we'd eat it all. What we got last time? What appetizer? The chicken
Wings.
Chicken wing stuff. Boneless chicken wings, which weren't wings at all. They were just little, like, breaded pieces of chicken.
And I can't eat fried stuff out anyway. Normally.
Right. Not unless it's like KFC or something like that has dedicated fryers.
I shouldn't have ate those wings last week, but I did. They were good.
Yum.
Greg wants to try to make one of those blue wing onions one day.
They're not difficult. Just don't cut all the way. Just don't cut down too far on your onion. They make some. I've seen a bloomin' onion maker where you put this like it's like a template over your over your onion, and it gives you the guides to go through and cut. But it only lets you cut so far down so that you don't like end up cutting your onion in half or something. And then it's just a matter of, getting it to open up, put it in some water, let it sit for a while. It finally opens up some. Start shaking that
Yep, it was
breading
good
in
that
it.
day you made it.
Oh yeah, delicious.
pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
Stoner Kitchen, how was the meal?
It was good. It was really good. Well, okay, it was breakfast. So, it was just a little different because of the beans and the tomatoes. But it was good. It filled me up, along with this here melon.
Greg says, the old guy in Colorado, in the land down under, the red-headed McStooge is bringing out the fried wings. From review, seems to be actually good.
Okay. I don't really know what you're talking about, but okay.
Bringing out, McStooge is bringing out real fried wings.
McStooge? Is that like your way of saying McDonald's? I don't know. McStooge? That's not a... Yeah, a stooge is, a stooge. There's like 3 of them.
McDonald's.
Okay. Yep.
He says he'll have to try a blooming onion. They are tasty.
They are good. And the, I don't know, they got a restaurant here, Greg, called the Outback Steakhouse. You got Outbacks there? What I would find interesting is if you had an Outback that was actually located in the Outback.
Yeah, there we go.
And you were driving a Subaru Outback and parked out back of the Outback in your Outback. That would be cool.
Steve says the drawback for the ones that the restaurants is the base petals came out soggy because you can only cut down so far.
Yep. That's a fact. It won't hold together.
Greg says, yeah, we do in tourist spots.
Well,
The Outback would be backed out of the Outback as soon as possible.
well, there you have it. They got bloomin' onions. At least they do here. And if it's an Outback like it's supposed to be an Outback, then it's an Outback that has them bloomin' onions. Just like here, they say Foster. It's the beer Australians drink. I don't know. How well do you guys like Fosters? My guess is probably not a lot. Probably a lot of other choices that you would rather have than a Foster's. I'm just guessing. I don't know for sure.
The blooming part would be the only Aussie thing. No one drinks Foster's.
No one drinks Foster's. That's what I thought. It's Australian for beer. That's what the commercials were here. I don't know about now, but well, got about 5 minutes or so left. I don't know if you guys got something else you want to talk about or any like dinner requests.
Greg says I can't even remember seeing it on the shelves here.
Seeing what on the shelves?
Foster's.
Oh. Yep. Well, that's okay. I mean, they make, what the heck is that beer? Starts with an H. It sounds like a German name. Heineken. Well, you think you're drinking German beer, but it's made like in Milwaukee or something. Well,
Did you draw for the rotisserie of destiny?
I did. And we drew, let's see if I can remember. I don't remember.
Baked cavatini with
Baked-
extra cheese.
Baked cavatini
Bates Motel.
from Bates Motel with extra cheese. So that's going to be coming up in a couple weeks. So that'll probably be another inside stream, depending on, my guess is I'll probably have to use the oven.
Greg says, so am I right? We're doing sausage rolls?
No. I had to have Mrs. Old Guy rewrite sausage rolls. It was on just a really thin little strip of paper.
That kept falling out.
Yep, kept falling out. So as those do that, we try to replace them with bigger slips of paper that, kind of blend into all the rest and don't necessarily fall out. Woo! Well,
Jessica says, before you tell oh, she just deleted it. She's going to say, do a scary story.
a scary story.
Greg says, LOL, we did that already.
Yeah,
Before you leave, tell us a scary story that happened recently.
a scary story that happened recently. I don't have one,
Dang it.
except for maybe, no, I don't have anything. I'm sorry, I just don't have it. I don't have none. And nothing scary's happened, at least the last little while. That's a good thing. Well, I guess I'm going to call it a day, guys. Yeah? What's old guy? Is there something you need to read? Or
Ralph says, I already got some in, but it's a request in, but you could add in sushi.
no. I'm not going to make sushi, sorry.
Greg says, my suggestion is for real meat pie or any variant.
A meat pie. Huh? An Aussie pie.
A real meat pie, not a fake one.
A fake meat pie. TVP. Textured vegetable protein. It's not the fact that it's vegetable protein that bothers me. It's the fact that it's textured. Ick. Are we done?
Steve says, I missed most of the stream, so you can stay on for another hour and a half if you want.
Well, it would be nice if I actually had something worth talking about or whatever. But I don't.
Request.
Greg's request.
Greg says no soy boy pie, please.
All right. Oh, that reminded me. I forgot part of the food challenge to tell the guys. I'll have to add it in. Yeah, along with the pickled sausage donut sandwich, we're going to have a shot of soy milk, which is some regular cow's milk with some soy sauce in it.
Greg says, how is the knee, by the way, Tom?
Oh, it's okay. I mean, it is what it is.
Eli says, remember when you used to get this done in an hour? That was Iron Chef status.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on what I'm doing. Something like this only took just a few minutes.
Yeah.
So I goofed around for an hour. Other things,
Takes the whole time.
yeah, takes a little longer. But I've discovered that most things can be done within an hour. There's some things that can't, obviously. Like a lasagna. That's not something you're gonna just make in an hour.
No.
It takes time to put it together and then to bake it.
For an hour.
For an hour, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out and spending your summer Saturday or spring Saturday.
Happy Father's Day to you dads out there.
Yep, happy Father's Day to the rest of you dads. And I'm going to get out of here, so I'm going to ask you, as always, just please give back a little bit in your community somehow, some way, even if it's just helping out a neighbor carry in their groceries. All right? We'll see you next Saturday. Goodbye and stuff.